morning. Kind of late today, man. The lady's birthday was yesterday, so, you know, it kept me in. I said, happy birthday to Tricia out there. And anyway, I'm here, you know, I thought of you all week, and I can't wait to come and see you. You think you enjoy this stuff? I do, too. I bring you the news that you need, and this is about living and trying to live forever. You say they're living forever, and people look at you as you're crazy, but listen, if you think about it, it's deep. And some religious people will understand, and all of those things. But we're here once, and we want to prolong our life as much as we can, and try to advocate, you know, lifestyle changes and, you know, things like that. You know, what you eat, you really, what you eat. I can sit down and look at someone eating, and I tell you, I can tell a lot about their personalities and so forth. So, I'm here today, and good morning to you. It's Saturday morning, 9/11, and we're here, and I have a wonderful doc here. You know, sometimes we see doctors and we don't understand who they are. We just come in, doc, I got some questions, and I want some answers. But sometimes it's good to know about him and her. We have Dr. Sahle Griffith, one of her surgeons, and you know, I got a question. So, Sahle Griffith, how you doing? Good morning.
Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah, say hi to the nation there. And I would
hello, everybody.
And anybody want to shout out?
Oh yeah, I'd like to shout out my family. My mom, my dad, my children.
Yeah.
I love all of you.
Yeah, good. You know, on CBC they call you the ladies' man. You want to shout out any lady out there?
You must not put me on the spot, man.
I gotta put you on the spot, man, or else it's not happening. Dr. Sahle Griffith is one laparoscopic surgeon and GI problems. And we're gonna talk about that we're gonna bring him back, because, you know, by himself, I mean, we want to build it up for him. So you want to know a little bit about this wonderful young gentleman who was in the healthcare, and as a matter of fact, he's here, and it's a pleasure to have an attribute like him to this wonderful island. He's into gastroenterology and gastrointestinal surgery and so forth, and he'll tell you a lot about that. I don't tell you about that, but I want to ask him a question. If you go into the elevator, Dr. Griffith, and someone is coming to you, and you want to be a gentleman, of course, and you want to, well, to open the door for that individual, what would you do? Would you put your hands and open it, or would you put your feet or foot?
If I'm going to the elevator.
If you're in there already
and I'm trained.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'll tell you. The first impulse is to put your hand. But in my profession, you lose your hands, you lose your job.
There you go, man. So, I guess your foot is going to be coming out.
Yeah, your foot comes out. That's
what surgeons do, man. We protect her. Would you insure your hand for like $5 million?
Oh, gosh.
Because you can't work without that, man.
I can't work without it. I haven't insured it as yet, but let's just say the thoughts are there, you know?
Yeah. You know, Rihanna insured her legs for $1 million, right? Yeah, man.
No doubt. Yeah. Somebody next to legs.
Guys, we'll be back. I got a surgeon in the house. You have the heart surgeon. You got the guy who can cut you and take care of you and set you right. We'll talk to him some more, and it's all about living, and I'll be right back. Yeah. Lively up yourself. You feel me this morning? Barbados is the land of many waters, where the sun shines forever. And as I always say, life begins and ends right here. And as a matter of fact, you only appreciate this land when you travel outside and you live outside and you stay in the cold and all of those things. You got to jump on the train and come back, and you're falling on the ice and you can't even put your shirt on. You have to wear 4 layers. When you come back here, you know, that's why some of our nice tourists come and they says, hey, honey, you know, I don't think I'm going back. Yeah, you think we can sell the house? And yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that, but it's a wonderful land. And you know, you ever wondered why the water is blue? Oh, we got nice white sand, and then yes, and sometimes it's a little brown. But the water always appear blue and green, and people give you all the myth that it's because the sky is blue. I say no. You see, I always give you a little bit of facts here and there. There's something called the spectrum. Red light, white light in itself divides into 7 different colors, and these 7 colors combined together would give you white light, and there are ways, there are prisms and things we can do to separate the light of itself. But red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo, violet, those are the 7. And then you have different colors like pink and so forth. You mix a couple of them together, you get pink. But remember, life is all about perception and how you perceive things. If you're a good doctor, by perception, then you're good. It's what people perceive that you can do. And that's what life is. So, why is it blue? Well, actually what happens when something appears blue or red to us, most times that object absorbs all of the other colors, and let's say red will come back to you that appears red. If an object absorbs all the colors except yellow, it appears yellow. And the intrinsic color of water is blue. And the deeper the depth of the water, the bluer it looks. Sometimes it changes its color because it may be mixed with some type of suspension like mud and all these type of things. And then that color changes. But basically the blue water, you hear it from the doc this morning, a little bit of tip for you, is because when all of the other colors, remember I mentioned 7 of them, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, all of them are absorbed and blue returns to you. Now you got the answer. Or green, sometimes it looks green. So a little bit of tip for you, and dynamite. Tara Cruz, and I'll come back and we'll talk to Dr. Griffith. Good morning, Dr. Griffith.
Morning, Dr. Sparman.
Yes, tell me a little bit about you, man. Where you grew up?
Okay, I was born in Barbados, contrary to popular belief. And I was born in Redmonds Road, Dickens Road. And basically after pretty young, we moved to Welch's in St. Thomas. So I went to Welch's Primary School right there in Redmond Village, yeah? Now, basically from there, I just grew up around the place in Barbados, man. Basically enjoying myself, doing everything that people do typically as they come along. At about 20, after finishing high school, I went to Jamaica and started doing surgical training over there, and basically stayed between Jamaica, then London, Canada. Ended up coming back here in about 2010, I think. That's when I finally returned for good. 2011, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, you're Bajan, man. Yeah. But you got this nice, strong accent that the ladies like, man. The Jamaican accent, man.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's living in Jamaica for pretty much 13 years straight, and then some years in the What happened is that I was working at the Kingston Public Hospital, and I worked in rural Jamaica too, in the Montego Bay and Cornwall Regional. The problem is if you got a Barbados accent, because what many Barbadians do not realize is that their accent is pretty difficult to be understood by most of the people in the Caribbean. So if you're going to work in downtown Kingston, you've got to learn to speak Patois. And if you learn to speak Jamaican Patois, your accent is completely changed from that point on. Yeah? So unfortunately, and I'll tell you, as a man that travels a lot and travels by myself a lot, it is beneficial to be able to speak Jamaican Patois when you're outsider.
Why is it beneficial?
Because the largest population outside in Jamaica.
I got you.
You speak Jamaican Patois, you kind of get...
Yeah. Does it attract people to you when you speak like that?
No, but I found it was more easily understood by people outside as well, because I think when I speak standard English, agreed, the accent might be slightly different. Because, for example, and I say this one all the time, if you listen to the Barbarian accent, it's pretty light. So the B's, they would say like bowl, yeah? If you are going to speak Jamaican Patois, you have to get a heavy B sound. You have to get some words I can't really say online, but bowl, yes.
You know, this guy's got a personality, you know. This guy's got a personality. I like this fella. Listen, let me ask you something. What about when you decide you want to become a doctor?
I'll tell you, I mean, in high school, I had an opportunity to go and do engineering, and I made a tactical error based upon a lack of information. I didn't know any doctors, yes, but I didn't like writing. So I was saying I had the scholarship to go and do environmental engineering at University of Birmingham. But I said, well, all I know about environmental engineers is that they have to write environmental impact studies. So I figured that involves a lot of writing. So I said, well, I never like writing. I leave that alone and go do medicine because it's talking and seeing people. Little did I know how much writing you have to actually do to become a doctor, you know. So basically, it was that was what triggered it.
What age were you then when you really made the crossover?
Maybe 18, 19.
Yeah, so you don't have to be thinking that you're a doctor when you're 12 and 11. It can happen later in life.
Yeah. I was 12 and 11, I don't know what I want to be.
You know I wanted to be a police officer?
Yeah?
Yeah, I like the police. I would like to put on put my gun on the side there and the hat like the state trooper. That was my plan. And then it changed. I wanted to be a preacher, you know. You should hear me in the pulpit, brother. You think I can talk now? And then, but I was so good in the sciences that that's how medicine come into being, you know. But yes, all right. So we come to the point you decided you're going to be a doctor. So it was a lot of programming and you had to decide that you had to put away a lot of things and stuff and focus, you know.
Let me tell you, I'll be honest with you. I had a few challenges. Let's say during and it's one of the things I try to tell people as they look at what they call the youth. Yes. When I was in secondary school, I was allegedly somewhat difficult to deal with. so I say allegedly. I guess at the time what I know now is that I look at life differently. But I would say that even in the same secondary school, I'm going to shout up a lady now that I don't think she ever knows that how much I appreciate her. It's a lady called Miss Prokop. And Miss Prokop taught biology at Harrison College. And Miss Prokop took me aside. I remember I used to play the fool in class, and she calls me and she says, listen, I notice you play the fool all the time and you don't fail. Yes? You will have to come here and sit down when she made me do drawings and so forth, or she's going to send me to the headmaster. And I was tired of being sent to the headmaster. I used to get sent there often. So I sat down, Miss Prokop worked me through that. And they said school now, I remember the guidance council at the time said, well, I don't have to do chemistry because I didn't like it. I guess they didn't figure I would make the qualification to reach sixth form. But she said, you don't have to do chemistry to do biology in sixth form. And at the time, biology I liked. And so they said they would not accept me to the sixth form. And the same Miss Prokop went to the headmaster and said, no, he's coming back to do sixth form. And she arranged then for me to do chemistry at Combermere as after school, whatever. So I say where I am at this current stage is probably due in large part to Miss Prokop. And I never got a chance to tell her this, but I would say thank you, Miss Prokop, for what you did, yeah? But
Miss Prokop, man, I would like to, she's alive, right?
So, yeah.
Is she still teaching?
I don't think so. She's got to be retired number.
Well, listen, Miss Prokop, you hear one of your students are here. He's one of the best surgeons here in the island here in reference to this field, laparoscopic. You got reflux disease and stuff like that. This guy goes in there. Before you know it, man, you eating pepper, you don't have a problem. Is there you got any lollipop out there?
What is a lollipop?
Well, lollipop is something people just suck on lollipop.
No, we don't suck on anything like that.
Oh, okay, good. Well, we're going to play lollipop right now, and then we can come back and talk to this wonderful doctor we got here. He's not only a doctor, he's got personality. Lil Wayne. Yeah, that was a Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is very graphic, this guy, so I have to choose what I play. You know? I do things live here, man, so, you know, you can't pull the word when it comes. It's like, when it exits your mouth, that's it, baby. I don't apologize or you keep going. But, yes, it's good to have Sahle Griffith, a gastric surgeon. Would you like me to refer to you as a gastric surgeon or a laparoscopic surgeon? What would you want me to say?
I'll be honest, I'm a laparoscopic surgeon, but I tend to do mostly gastrointestinal work.
Gotcha. So he's here, and listen, a lot of people suffer from, and me and Dr. Griffith are very similar, because with the enigma from the V doctor's experience, patient comes in with chest discomfort. It's either two things: is that heart problems, or you could have other things like lung problems. But mostly either reflux, and a lot of people, because of our diet, got a lot of reflux unbearably. Was it to sleep with 5 pillows and you can't just lay down flat because the acid comes up and messes with you? And he's going to talk about that. We're going to bring him back either next week or the next week. We'll decide. I'll let you know. By the way, guys, don't forget, we have decided the first Saturday of every month, we will do an EKG every month. Free EKGs for you 50s and over. An EKG is the first test you to do to find if you have a heart problem or not. 50 and over, first Saturday. Every single month we will give that to the public. Okay? So we're here with Dr. Griffith, and we're talking about, he's growing up right now, and very much give a lot of thanks to the teachers that have helped him along the way. And tell me a little bit about your journey after you would have, let's say you finished medical school now. You had to decide what field you want to go into. What made you choose?
Surgery.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, that's the first rotation I did in my internship was surgery. And I think that was probably when I met one of the other most influential people in my life, a man at Cornwall Regional Hospital in Jamaica. He was a surgeon, and I think Dr. Thomas is his name, Greg Thomas. And basically I just liked how he approached surgical care. It was the only part of medicine throughout my rotations as an intern that I enjoyed, I thought I would like things like pediatrics and so, but it was never for me. And so from there, I basically ended up going into first ear, nose, and throat surgery, and then switching over to general surgery, and then from there subspecializing in laparoscopic surgery.
Where do you do general surgery?
I did my general surgery in Jamaica for the most part. I came here for a year. I think 2 years, one separated by a year now. In the UK, I came here and was at the QEH for a bit, but most of it, out of the 9 years I spent doing surgical training, 7 of it was in Jamaica.
And then the laparoscopic now?
Laparoscopic, I did that in Canada. So basically, I got to give thanks to the creator for this one. I went to an interview I got one interview for my fellowship applications, and it was at the only accredited minimally invasive surgery and bariatric program in Canada. So this was a place that guys from Portugal, guys from China, across Canada and the USA would come to interview for the job. And they saw Spain as well, because one of my friends from Spain was there. And basically, I was able to get that job, and it really exposed me to a full gamut of minimally invasive approaches. So anything you want taken out now, we don't have to give you any long cuts. We can make that disappear on you. Yeah, make the cuts disappear for you. So
you think that you got that job because of not only your very strong academic qualification, but also a little bit of charm?
Probably, if I'll tell you the joke, that job, when I was in England, I had met up with a Spaniard, a friend of mine called Pablo Prego. And Pablo had brought me over to Madrid, so we had gone over to Madrid. Through some other links, we had gone to work with some other people in Barcelona and so as well. But when I was applying for fellowships, I told him to apply as well. So he and I came for interview, and we were interviewed on the same day, one behind the other. So when he came out of his interview and I was going, I said, "Hey Pablo, what's up?" And he said, he shook my hand and we talking and stuff. So when I get into the interview, they asked if I knew the candidate that came before. I said, yeah. I said, how do you know him? He's from Spain. You were from, at the time I was coming out to Jamaica. And he said, you're from Jamaica. I said, well, we were in England together. He said, and I encouraged him to apply for this job. So they said, wait, you encourage a guy to apply for the same job?
And compete with you?
Yeah. I said, but I said, it don't matter. There are 100 people who apply for the job. Yeah. Basically, it's whoever's job it is, they'll get it.
And what is for mine, he gets.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I said. So therefore, we'll be interested from there, I think.
I like your approach. I really do like your approach. When you come back, I think we'll come. You want to come back next week or the week after?
Whichever is good.
Well, next week we'll come back and finish up. So we understand bariatric surgery, what Dr. Griffith does, how he does it. He'll tell us. But I want you to tell me, what's a good day for you? For me, a good day is when I go in there and put a stent and somebody I know is going to die, and I give him 30 more years, and I see him walk out to the hospital. That's a good day for me. I take a nice glass of wine. What is a good day for you? And tell me what's a bad day.
All right, a good day. I'll tell you, one of the best days for me is really coming back here, because when I came back here, I ended up in a situation where you don't have the support of a big institution, you don't have the support of colleagues that can do the surgery that you do, because unfortunately on the island there's only one full-on minimally invasive surgeon. So just the other day I did a lady with the help of my anesthetist, Dr. Farnham, and I'm going to shout him up now. She's 94 years old and she had an achalasia and she could not swallow. And I called the family and said, well, boy, we're going to do this thing, and I am very nervous, you know. I told them at first I wasn't going to do it, and I tried dilating her up with, endoscopically, but it didn't work. So we took her in and we did this 94-year-old surgery, and she's now drinking and so uncomfortable, and basically she could have gone home 2 days ago. Because of her age, I just kept her in and we were watching her. But I think that's probably a good day, when you're actually able to achieve success, even in some difficult odds, yeah? A bad day. And I'm going to say one of the worst days I've had. Well, I've had a number of days that I did not like. I did, as I said, I grew up on the battlefield, I call it. I did most of my early surgical training at the Kingston Public Hospital. There are 60,000 trauma admissions per year at the Kingston Public Hospital. A great majority of those secondary to gunshot wounds. So if you've been shot in it, I've seen it. So I would have to say that days where I've lost people, young, especially young men. In fact, the most touching to me actually occurred here in Barbados. There was a young man who was stabbed to his heart. And I remember I had my finger in his heart because we had opened his chest and but he just had not enough blood to pump around. And we put something in there, blew it up, we tried to give him fluids, but he just did not have enough blood going around his system. And unfortunately in the Caribbean we always have chronic blood shortages, so we couldn't get enough blood for him. And
so you actually put your finger in the heart to stop the bleeding from coming out of the heart, to see if you could stabilize him until you can get work done.
That is basically the approach. If you stab wounds to the heart are pretty fatal. There are two tricks to doing it. One, when you get into the chest, you put your finger in the heart, and then after that you get a simple Foley catheter. You put it in and blow up the balloon and pull it down.
Okay.
And that now allows you to, if they're full enough, you can then get them enough blood circulating around them to stitch over that and then deflate the Foley and pull it out.
Gotcha.
So that is Jamaican gunshot treatment there. That is, I don't think there's any set of people that get more stab wounds to the heart, something started out and off and living than they do in Jamaica.
Man, that's raw from Dr. Sahle Griffith, man. You see? So he's a surgeon. He's been through the fire, come to stand but sober. And he came back to his people to give them care. Listen, we've got cutting-edge stuff here in this island, and it's going to get better and better and better every day. Healthcare here supersedes all around our neighboring Caribbean islands, and we're happy to be able to give that to you, the people, because who matters most? It's the patient. So you got anything you want to say to anybody before we leave? Because I'm going to see you next week. Guys, tune in. Don't forget, 9 o'clock, and I ain't got no boarding next week, so I'm going to be here on the dot. What do you got to say to Dr. Sahle Griffith?
Thank you for the time, and I wanted to, one thing, I can't leave here without saying this. My nurse would be extremely upset. The Caribbean Weight Loss Center, you know, we're trying to encourage people on proper eating and lifestyle choices. And we are having our first walk. We're going to have a walk basically catering to those who are bigger. We are trying now to show them how many steps they should take. There's going to be a breakfast served at the end that's basically going to be not only nutritious, but it's going to be portion size correctly and calories correct. And that's coming up on the 27th of April. 27th of April, and I really want you all to come out and support the Caribbean Weight Loss Center. So to Nurse Clark, I did it. Thank you very much. I hope everybody is able to come out.
Yes, soul sister. Thank you, Nurse Clark.